understand what is literature study. So, literature study is our first experiment of every subject we try to learn. So, it's like whenever we do literature study, we don't know much about our subject. So, it's like we do a self study of our subject and we try to understand what is our subject about and what is its content. The things we study in literature study may or may not be in our syllabus, but they are definitely related to our subject. um, as we do literature study, what we need is we need a document, a research document, we say, which is consisting of so abstract, then introduction, then some information theory, then we have result, calculation, results, observations, and conclusions. We do a thorough study of it by reading it and understanding it, and then we present our understanding of that paper into our literature study in a short 1 page or more, 1.5 page of content, and then we perform our analysis on it. Since we do literature study in groups, we have 3 papers, so which in which we do a comparison of advantages, disadvantages, and we also present our open challenges. So why literature study is important? It's because we since we are doing it, we start from reading, then we review it, we read it many times to understand it, then we observe it, and then finally we analyze it. It's like we learn how to analyze a paper, how to get content and get understanding of any research paper, and this can help us in projects and other research work. Next slide. So, our topic is digital forensics. So, why did we select this topic, and what actually is digital forensics? So, in basic terms, I would like to say that digital forensics is like evidence, but digital evidence. Any crime or any crime, which is, it may not be only about a physical crime or not only about a digital crime. Even now when we have come across any physical crime, we like if there's an accident, there's a murder, we try to find if there is CCTV around. That's also a digital evidence of it. When we talk about digital crimes or cyber crimes, we know that how about hacking and how ATM sorry, ATM pins are acquired, or for big companies, how their assets or how their um, information, personal or the confidential information is acquired. That is all about digital crimes, and digital forensics is like collecting evidence for this. So what and why digital forensics is important? Because it's not like it is just limited to our digital world and or only crime. It's like you can use in law enforcement, in investigations, in commercial, private, or institutional application. Just as I said, like when there's a threat to companies' confidential information, at such time also digital forensics is essential. Digital forensics is about how information can be acquired from digital devices like your computers, your networks, your mobile phones, tablets, or other such devices. And it can be very deciding factor of your investigation and decision in your law pursuits. Like sometimes may your digital evidence may turn over the outcome of your procedure. Next slide. So the first paper I'm presenting here is Digital Forensics, Maintaining Chain of Custody Using Blockchain. Okay, so first of all, we will understand what is chain of custody. So see, a chain of custody is like when you collect evidence, like if there is a crime scene and you get a mobile phone over there. So your chain of custody for that mobile phone, that is your evidence, starts from there, and it reaches right up to the court procedure till where we provide the mobile phone as a evidence for our court proceedings. So what we say is like collecting the mobile phone from the site of crime till the court is your chain of custody. And during this chain of custody, your evidence passes through a number of people, like the police, who gets the evidence. Then if the case is given to some other department, some other branch, then it goes as through it towards the end till we reach it to the court, till it reaches to the lawyer and the judge. Then what is why is blockchain? So blockchain is used so that our evidence is kept secure. So what factors of blockchain do provide this? So let's see. So the main features of blockchain are decentralization, immutable, and transparency. So decentralization, opposite to how we store data nowadays, like currently, currently we store data at a single place or on a single system device. So it's like if a system is tampered or there is a loss that the device is or on what system we have stored the data is lost. So we completely lose our evidence or the data related to it. So it becomes difficult to again acquire the evidence that we have lost. So blockchain introduces decentralization, or we can say distributed storing of the data. That is, the data is not stored at one place, but it is stored in nodes at different places. The second point is immutable. Okay, so immutable is very important point for your evidence, since your evidence after collecting it should not be tempered or it should not be meddled with. It should be as it is. Its integrity should be maintained. So your evidence should not be deleted, edited, updated, or anything should be made to. So it's an we can do like we can add evidences and their content later, to the but to the same evidence we don't make any changes. Okay, then it's transparency. Okay, transparency is like the user who has access to the blockchain, he can access it to public address as well. And it's not like it has any it has any restrictions over accessing. And the other important aspect of transparency, and also the main aspect, is the lifetime of evidence. Like when we collect the evidence, like the owner, and after that who acquire it, who through whom it is passing, everything is the lifetime of evidence, and blockchain is able to maintain and keep track of it. Then I would like to explain this. Blockchain keeps lifetime of evidence, like as I said, from the owner to who is acquiring it and who is getting through it. Everything is kept by the blockchain. Then it's overcome security issues. Obviously, when I would like to discuss 2 points together, that is overcome security issues and ingenuity of evidence. So ingenuity of evidence is like whenever we give evidence to someone for investigation, if I need to give it to a police or another department. So the actual evidence is not passed, only the hash values of the evidence is passed. So the original evidence remains as it is. So it also overcomes the security issue, since we don't make any changes to the evidence. And the next is digital evidence framework. It's like whenever we provide a digital evidence, it also comes with a proof. You cannot say this is a digital evidence unless and until you have a proof of originality for it. Um, Here I pass the presentation to Saili Ghari. Next slide.
Good morning, everyone. So, the second paper we analyze is the analysis of mobile phones in digital forensics. When we come to analysis of mobile phones, it contains of the data that is stored in this storage form, like files, images, and contact details, etc. Whereas the digital forensics has become a discipline which needs to be examined in detail, and its subdisciplines because of different operating conditions of each device, technology, storage, audio, video, etc. During the mobile forensics, which is called as mobile devices, it is difficult for the judicial process because it includes devices from different brands, mobiles, different brand models, mobile phones, smartphones, or any tablets. So there is a process, or we can say steps, to consist it, like intake of data, identification, preparation, isolation, processing, verification, retorting of data, presentation, and achieving the results. In this study, the analysis of information obtained from the investigation of mobiles has been evaluated. When we come with the examination, it consists from the SIM card information, contact details, storage device like image, videos, files, PDF or any document. And the important issue to properly stores, analyze, and the increase of data in the electronic environment is important. Next slide. Uh, Digital forensics aims to examine these devices and the data help the legal processes. Uh, After a crime is occurs, a digital forensic consists of four important processes, that is collection of digital evidence or creating or working of copies in different formats. The next is examination, choosing the right methods and approach for evidence to be present in the form of judicial. Analysis is a forensic analysis for extracting and collecting funds. Reporting is the documenting and presenting of a case, whereas the mobile devices has the ability to store the process data in variety of methods. Uh, the next paper will be presented by the Prathamesh.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Prathamesh Theodikar, and I am presenting the third slide, that is the importance of standardization in biometric data for digital forensics. Uh, as you all know, that standardized evidence is very important in the judicial system, like audios and videos. That is, proper quality and proper evidence should be required. Similarly, the new emerging data, that is the biometric data, is also very crucial to convict any particular criminal. This is done. The standardization of biometric data is examined in digital forensics. Biometric data in the biometric system, there are two stages. First stage is recognition and verification, and it can be further divided into two parts. That is physical biometric system, which consists of fingerprint recognition, face recognition, and iris recognition, and the other part is behavioral system, which consists of signature markup. First, I would like to cover up with physical biometric system. In physical biometric system, uh, the fingerprint recognition is being very much used, as it can be traced out from the weapons, for example knives or other weapons as well, and that can be matched with the other convicts, or you can say, or the other peoples who are in blacklist. In fingerprint recognition, the mainly thing which is done, it is the fingerprint is collected from the fingerprint of the victim of the convicts are collected, and they are matched to the database. In this process, the first thing to be done is noise reduction in the data, and then it is matched up. While in face recognition, the face recognition system works in two ways. That is, first it detects the location and face shape of the face items, while in the second system, the recognition process is applied. But during this process, there are certain things to be considered. That is, no accessories should be allowed, or no makeup should be allowed, uh, and further. In iris recognition system, the eye photo is taken with an illuminated and high resolution infrared reflector, and this extracted features are applied are given to image processing techniques, and the points of the and the main points of the photos are verified. Other than physical Other than physical biometric system, behavioral biometric system are also used. Behavioral biometric systems are intended to identify a person by making a comparison between behavioral samples. Behavioral biometric system include features such as signature, walk, keystroke, and speech. That is in signature, it can be verified on the basis of keystroke they make, or the time they require to draw a signature, and the curves they have, the angle of the curves. On basis of such things, the signature behavioral system is widely used. According to according to the research or study on a paper, we have created an analysis table to it. As As said by Harshali, the advantage of first paper is that it provides a secure transaction by using hash tables, and it has immutable feature providing integrity and authenticity. And since it is decentralized, it gives them advantage over other system as well. But the disadvantage of paper one is that the hash value can be too big, thus giving more computations to be performed. In paper two, as Siley said, it aims to examine these devices, the phones, and data to help the legal process on social environmental platform. But the disadvantage of it is correctness and diversity of finding users same program. And in paper 3, the biometric data is universal structure which ensures reliability of data and will protect the confidentiality. While the disadvantage of biometric system is that it has a very high cost compared to other authentication system, and use of expertise is a disadvantage of biometric system. So therefore we conclude that we have successfully completed the literature study for the subject Advanced System Security and Digital Forensics for the topic Digital Forensics. In this study, we studied the mobile forensics and its use in maintaining the digital evidence and using it as same as digital forensic for investigation of crimes and legal authorities. We also learned about the ways in which digital forensics can be improved and made more efficient and secure using blockchain technology, and also about the standardization of digital forensics in storing the biometric data. Thank you.